Afternoon, everyone. So today I'm joined by Roni Saanumi for the career Q&A series as part of the Reed Women in Technology Mentoring Programme. I'm not going to do a very long intro. I'm going to hand straight over to Roni because she's going to take us through a little bit about her background, career in tech, and how she got to where she is today. So Roni, if you'd like to fire away, mate, please.
Yeah, I can. Thanks, Kevin. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Like Kevin said, my name is Roni Saanumi. I'm a senior delivery manager at Justice Digital, which is a part of the Ministry of Justice. So that's the digital arm. And yeah, I've put together about a 3-pager slide deck to talk you through my career journey, my background, what I do, what my typical day is, and I'll go ahead and just share the screen with you. Can everyone see my screen?
It has just loaded, yeah.
Yep, cool. So I've sort of put that in a linear form, but in life, sometimes things just don't go that linear. But my background is in computer tech. I'm a graduate of computer technology. You can see the first 3 circles there just represent a time of my life while I was back home in Nigeria. I'm originally from Nigerian by birth and heritage, but I'm now British. I call the UK home now. I've been here long enough to be able to say that. I graduated a computer technologist, and I was fortunate. I actually got a job in one of the leading banks the second day I left and graduated, and it was just a phone call, and it was like, oh, what are you doing? Yeah, and that was it. I was asked to come in for an interview, and I landed the role as a developer at the time, one of the leading banks in Nigeria and the only bank developing its own banking application. All the other leading banks were actually buying their off-the-shelf application. So we were like this niche team. We used to call ourselves special. I was the only girl in a team of 11 coders. So that was just my background. I've always worked in the company of men. And I was the only coder there for the first 3 years before we finally got another lady to join us. In that time, I did a few certifications. I did my Cisco certification and stuff like that. Back early 2000, back at that time, you just get called into the director's office. Yeah, this team or this department have this problem. Can you go sort it out? And that's it. That would be your brief. I actually wrote the code for our check clearing. At the time, I did that. Obviously, I had the senior developer who was carrying me under his wings, but I had my name on that code, and the bank used it for years, even when I'd left. But the point I'm trying to make there was once you get your brief, you go to the team and they start telling you what their problems are and what they want to do. You go with your pen and paper. Unbeknownst to me then, that was me gathering requirements, but we never called it that. So you do a few sketches, you ask a few questions, you take the notes, and then off you go and you start coding. And then, it will be a case of, come and look at what I've done. And you keep iterating like that. So fast forward, after a while of being a developer, I think about 5 years, and then I moved on to become a system analyst. At this time, our portfolio was growing. We had different applications in the organization. Then we were moving into that DevOpsy kind of scenario where we develop applications, we had to maintain them. So they carved another mini team within our department, and I started working as a system analyst. And life happened. I had to, I got married, I started the family, I came to this country, and actually took about 2 years out, and I wasn't clear what I was going to do. And that starts the beginning of the latter part of my journey here in black or dark gray. And I remember when I was ready, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I spoke to a few friends who were, never took a break in their career, and they were there. It's like, what should I do? Oh, Ronnie, you have the confidence, you can go for anything, it's still in tech and digital. I started looking at job adverts. Then I saw this one at UAL. It was looking for a business analyst. When I looked at the job description, it just sort of reminded me of what I was doing, gathering requirements, but it was never called business analysis at the time. Long story short, applied for the role, went for the interview. I was actually on the train back home from the interview, and the agency called me, Ronnie, they love you and they want you. Meanwhile, they'd already said they still had 3 days of interview. And because I did ask, when will I hear back from you? And they were saying things like the next week, that they still had people lined up. And then I got a call before I got home that, oh, they love you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so what's going to happen to the people they said they wanted to interview? Anyway, I got that role. I started there. Again, I was working with a project manager, was a contractor. The guy went AWOL on the project. I think he took ill, and then after a while, nobody knew what was happening with him. The project had to go on. I ended up helping along. So I was doing project management and business analysis. I had a program manager, that we were reporting into. And, I got the business case. The business case was in flight at the time the project was on. So I eventually got that approved with some modifications to it. And then we started implementing. The project was going on. I put a plan together. And that was it really. Eventually, I think we were 3 months out to the end before we could get a new PM in. And this person came in, literally, I was so into it that, they couldn't really lead. I'd been working so long on it now. So she literally became my assistant on the project. So we landed that project, and the program manager just called me one day. I think it was one-to-one. She said, Ronnie, you're a natural. We want to send you for your Prince 2 certification. And that was how I started in projects and program management. I worked with them for another 1 year, moved on to East Thames as a project manager. And that just began my journey in projects and program delivery. And as you can see at the bottom, swim lane, I just started, developing myself. I got my MOR, I got my change management practitioner, I got my MSP, managing successful programs. At Notting Hill, that was, again, me just stepping forward. It was a program, and the role did say it was going to be an implementation lead. But once I got in there again, me being me, I put myself forward. I ended up being the program implementation lead. And at the time, the program was their digital first program. It was pivotal because we literally transformed service provision for customers. I provided them with a brand new website, a customer portal, and, I worked with another program director, assistant program director. She was really good in the trade, and I learned from her. So when the time was ready, one thing about me is I sort of know when I need to move on. It's like I'm always hungry for more. And once I feel, look, this, I've maxed out here, it's time to move on, I just move on. Then I went to Homes England. There I was a senior delivery manager, did all sorts in that space as well. And that was our Homes England was transitioning into new ways of working. I led that program. And I've got Amanda on the call. We worked together on that program. It was a fantastic program. We got accolades, awards, and all that. But during all that time, I was learning and improving my trades as well. And I was getting certifications. I became a Scrum Master as well there. And I'm presently at the Ministry of Justice. me being me, I've started my MSc again while I'm there. Putting together this career journey, which, I haven't done, at the weekend when I was putting it together, it got me thinking. And I'm trying to move to the next slide, to the next page, and it's not moving. Okay. My reflections. When I looked at the journey, I was reflected, okay, Roni, what are your takeaways from this journey? I concluded that I think I'm someone that is constantly learning. I believe no knowledge is lost. I put myself out there when I see an opportunity. I don't shy away from a new challenge. When I was at Homes England, we had a new director who wanted to introduce automation, and I led an automation team there. I'd never done anything like that. I had the opportunity to work with contractors, the likes of UiPath, Blue Prism. I put an automation team together. They were coding in low code platform. So, I don't shy away from a challenge. And I think in my career, I've suffered from a lot of headwinds. There's no denying that. I'm a woman of color. I'm in a profession that is predominantly male dominated, digital and technology, and I'm a Black woman. So there have been instances where I know that I had to prove myself beyond what is necessary. Sometimes I do joke that I put into 200% to get half back. So those headwinds, have made me to be resilient. So even though that's a challenge, the positive I take from that is, it's made me a very resilient person.
Before you skip on to this bit, I've got a few questions about what you spoke about already, and actually your reflections are the reflections that I was making as I was listening to you speak. I was thinking, my word, this you've clearly gone out and sought qualifications whenever they've been opportunity, whenever they present to you. You sound like you're somebody that always says yes to an opportunity, which I think is like a natural superpower. People that are the people that I see that are most successful are the ones that take chances and pursue those opportunities when they present to themselves. So that's not so much a question, but I guess in terms of the qualification question, then this comes up a lot, especially in things like project management. How important do you think those qualifications are? How crucial are they to be able to have the job that you've got and do the jobs that you've got? Are they essential, or are they things that you have just because of your personality and about continuous learning that you've gone out and pursued those?
I'll say they are good. Essential might be a strong, but in the job market now, I've seen adverts, they are clearly stated. So really, you want to give yourself the best chance of even getting through the door. So you have the opportunity to get the certifications, to get the extra learning, formal training, do it. But at the end of the day, it's the skills that you can demonstrate. So I say these extra or formal certifications and training will probably get you through the door, meaning you get a seat for an interview if possible. But really, actually in my team, I'm trying to fill the team up now, and I'm going through loads of recruitment campaigns for different roles. It's the skills that you're able to demonstrate in your day-to-day task that would matter. That's not to say that the learnings you take from all these qualification and all, they don't matter. They do. I call them the textbook learning. You then need to apply that to every day, in which case sometimes it's not like for like, So the textbook tells you need to do it this way, but in real life, sometimes you have to pivot. So again, that talks to your flexibility skills, you being able to, translate complex situations and break it down. So they do matter if you can, but I'm just saying it's not the end of.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an answer to this question either, but if somebody was thinking about getting into project management specifically, and they had limited time and budget, and they were making the choice between Prince 2 or some kind of agile certification, which would you say is the best kind of foundation to have?
I'll still say Prince 2. Why? Because fine, there's so many organizations going agile now, yes, but there are things that Prince 2 tells you that, that's what you're doing in agile, right? So, what those agile principles talk about is we prefer this to that. It's not canceling those Prince 2 principles. It's not canceling them at all. It's just saying instead of this, you do it this way. So they do matter. If you ask me, they are the foundation. It talks about planning, it talks about risk, it talks about a lot of stuff, which you would do if you're working in an agile way. And when I get to the next slide, talking about my day-to-day as a senior delivery manager, you'll see how you're able to bring both.
Yeah, excellent. And then in terms of headwinds, the things that I picked out about your presentation so far were the mention of you being the first woman in the team amongst a team of 11 when you first got into tech. How has that changed over time? Do you still find yourselves working in teams where you are in the minority, or have things improved?
Things have improved, but it's still a long way. It's still a long way off. I mean, so I said I was the only girl in a team of 11. Then it took another 3 years before another girl joined me, yeah? And then fast forward almost 2 decades on, I still find that, the teams I lead, I'm the woman, I'm Black. It's always almost only me with that spec, Black woman, yeah, and leading. So in my team, I might have 70 to 30 composition between, ratio of men to women. So it's still a long way. There's still a gap to be bridged there. And when you now go, the further up you go, it's even much more difficult. So like where I am now, I'm struggling to see the likes of me in, as a senior civil servant. So senior civil servant starts from assistant director upwards. Yeah. I hardly see there's that lack of representation. I don't think I've seen any Black women since I've been where I'm working. So that's shocking.
Wow.
But yeah.
Well, and then a follow-on question, because I firmly believe that there's a holistic approach to getting more into tech, and a lot of that is societal and early careers, and a lot of things that we can invest in there to raise awareness of tech and get more people to consider it as a career. But focusing on the kind of the here and now and the people that are already working in that space, what do you think that we all as allies, me as a white man, you as a woman of color, what do we as allies do to make things better for you and to create more opportunities for people like yourself to climb the ladder?
Don't it's simple, and I don't know whether it will answer your question, but I try to say it in as in the most simplistic way. Just provide the opportunity for me without thinking twice. What I find is, when it comes to people of color, you want to think about it a bit more. You want to, like, I've had opportunities given me with conditions attached, like, Roni, if you do this for 3 months, like do it interimly, and then, so it means I need to prove myself a bit more before I then land the real thing. But I'm like, that other guy just slotted into the role, even with the acknowledgement of, yeah, there's still some things to be learned. So it's the same. So I was told, oh, there's still some things to be learned. So if you go in there and then, we see how you get on for 3 months, then we know. But the other chap, yes, there's still something to be learned there, but you learn on the job. So if you get what I mean. So it's like, absolutely. Don't offer me opportunities with conditions. Just do it the way you would have given any other person.
Yeah, and I think that's that's great advice for anyone. Just to be a bit more mindful and a bit more self-conscious of any unconscious biases that they might have, or any ways that they are treating people differently based on any of those, factors around neurodiversity, gender, race, faith, and all those kind of things. So yeah, I'll let you carry on with your presentation. I think this is a really important part of it, because I know when the world became more agile, the rise of job titles like delivery manager, I was like,
Yeah.
what does this mean? I see that a lot of project managers move into that space, but are the two interchangeable? What are the differences between a PM and a delivery manager?
Right. Yeah. So this is so not 2 days are the same in my day, I must confess, but typical senior delivery. So we've got the delivery managers in the team, and then we've got associates, delivery managers, then we've got the senior delivery managers. Essentially, you can see the 3 circles I've put in there. What we do comprises of taking care of the team, so we call it team health and happiness, and leading on agile and lean practices. So this is where it's a mindset. So it's not that it's a methodology, it's just a mindset of how you work, and you continuously improve when you iterate and all that stuff. And you're talking about all those rituals and practices. You have your daily stand-ups and your retrospectives, and you have ways you measure your cycle times and lead times. Those are things you do. And lastly, delivery support, moving delivery along. So and when they're talking about us, they call us servant leaders. So all you're there to do is to ensure that delivery goes on unhinged. So you're removing blockers from your team, which is the difference between that and a PM is, so it's command and control in the traditional way. You have a plan, and you as the project manager, you're there to make sure you're sticking to that plan, and you're commanding and controlling, making sure you don't sleep and all that stuff. But as a delivery manager working in an agile way, you're there to enable the team. In fact, I've summarized it up there. My job, in summary, is enabling and delivering through others. So at the end of the day, a delivery manager is at the back. Who they see is the team. They see the team rather than you. But a project manager, they see you, and then they see the team. So if you see, if you can, relate to those two analogies. So your job is to make sure you remove complexities for the team and blockers, so that delivery can move along. And you do all that through team health. So there are measures and things you use to measure the happiness of the team, and you guys are delivering, and things are going on as planned. But recently, I've been asked to lead a team, and I think, but back to what I was saying, all these there are transferable skills you're able to bring. I've worked in a program setting, I've worked in transformation setting. So the team I lead right now, called Delivery Ops, we are actually a central function for prisons digital. And what we do is to enable, we've got multiple product teams under Prisons Digital. They're delivering different multiple and digital applications. The team I lead right now, we're central to making sure all those teams function well. We're central to removing barriers to delivery and enabling delivery at pace. So, the portfolio is what, over 50 million pounds. So we provide the rigor for all these teams to work. We do that in ensuring governance. So my team makes sure there's governance in place. We make sure we manage the portfolio, the whole portfolio, through change coordination, workforce planning. So that's for anybody that is on this call, that's close to the traditional PMO, but we do more. So we do workforce planning, we do change coordination. So when they ask me to lead the teams, like, Roni, you've got experience of change management and stuff, because again, we want to make sure that change across the multiple digital products is consistent. We don't want, different product teams managing change the way they know best. So we make sure it's done consistently. So my role, what I'm trying to say with this is, I'm a senior delivery manager. I'm leading this team in an agile way, but I'm bringing portfolio management. I'm bringing program management skill sets into it. So my job is to understand the complexities around the whole portfolio and translate that to different stakeholders. So we've got different stakeholders across MOJ, Prisons Digital, even our own digital teams. So the expertise of implementation and delivery that I've learned over the years is very useful now that I didn't know I was going to be leading this team. So I was saying that I'm now doing a lot of recruitment campaigns, standing up a whole new team for this. In a nutshell, I would say keep improving yourself, because some of these skills you pick up with these different challenges are transferable. You never know when the next opportunity will come, and put yourself out there. I think I'll just shut up now.
That's great. Thank you, Roni. So one of the questions I've got, I mean, Amanda's got her hand up, so I'll come to Amanda very, very briefly in a second. But one of the questions I've got is if somebody has kind of identified projects and programs or delivery management as a potential career path for them because of their communication skills and organization skills, and they see that as being like the perfect fit for working in that space, what do you think are the important factors to consider to then determine whether they should go down that strict kind of project leadership role or that enablement role for delivery management? And do you think there is a different persona of person that would be better at either or?
That's a tough one, Kevin. I think personality style there's a tad bit of that. So if you're the type who, you don't want to be seen, you don't mind, being the leader from the back, just enabling your team and all that stuff. Delivery management might be the thing for you. And you're passionate about public services, because you find that, these roles are sought after in either government departments, public sector, civil service more than in private sector. So private, because it's all about the bottom line. So they need that strict rigor. We need a plan from now till 2027. You're going to tell us what we're going to get every quarter. So, so that's slightly different. Then you may be better suited for projects and programs. But if you naturally you see yourself being able to exhibit that servant leadership, then delivery management is for you.
Thank you. So Amanda, I'll come to you.
Thanks, Kevin. So Roni mentioned that we've worked together before, so but I have learned things through this session that I probably sort of knew, but looking at it from a different lens. So your background of first working in a bank, I was relating that to when I worked with Roni on a particular project, and I realised that she removed a barrier for us, which was around the management of budget for our project, because she's good at maths. Put it that way. I realize now why, because of your background. So that sort of thing around your life experiences, different role experiences that all sort of build up to how you contribute, etc. I just wondered, Roni, if you would share with us one of the biggest barriers that you think you've unblocked as a role, either in a delivery management role, a project management role, or a senior delivery management role.
Oh God. I think so. Let me think of a recent one. That would be at MOJ, and there was this team. I just joined them, and I was told they've started and stopped 3 times, 3 good times, doing a discovery. And because I'm that type of person, I just don't like being idle. So when I joined, they were waiting for the service owner of the area that was recruited into. She went on leave, and there wasn't a lot happening. So I said, look, I can't just be warming the bench. So get me something. And it's like, oh, there's this team. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I think what they were lacking was they had no vision of why they were put together as a team. And I told them, I'll join you for two stand-ups. Forget I'm there. And I was there like a fly on the wall. I was just observing. Half of this team were demoralized. They didn't understand what they were doing, to be honest, why they came together. And after a week, I said, I'd like to do a team retrospective. And I did it anonymously. So I used a tool that whatever you put in there would not record who you were. And that was a bombshell. People said stuff in there like, I'm just wasting my time here. My skill set is that, and they're wasting it. All I'm trying to say is I was able to put that team to revitalize them. So I had a workshop for them to understand or even develop a vision statement. Why are you all together? This was a team of about 10 people. Imagine the brain drain. Imagine you're just wasting resources. They come into work every day, but they weren't doing anything much. And they will provide some report at the end of the week, which wasn't going anywhere. So, and that was me 2 months in there. I got recognition. I think I told you, Amanda, I got this £250. So the service owner came like, a team that, they've started them and stopped them and started them and stopped them for 3 times. So, he nominated me, recognized me. And then when I was ready to now move to my proper team, I understand in their SMT meeting, there was actually a tussle. Who would want to keep me. The new person wants me, and then this guy that I'd worked with his team is like, Roni needs to the like her, So like, no, let me just go to the team I originally came here for. There's no need to fight over me. But all I'm saying is some of these things they don't teach you in textbook. It's just your life experiences sometimes and your skill sets that you have to bring in. It's like, how can grown adults wake up every day and you don't even know why you're where you are? It's like, guys, let's come up. Why are we here? Draft a vision statement. And then I put it on their Trello board at the top. Every day you look at this Trello, that's why you are here. Just know that's the reason.
And it's true, isn't it? Because it's that purpose and drive, and that's what you need. And I like that analogy that you just said. It's like having a toolkit, isn't it? That every now and then you just think, oh, I need a different tool for that, and I can pick it out and use that spanner today. Thanks, Roni.
Yeah, it's a great question, Amanda, and I think it's a really good way to bring the role to life and help you understand actually what enablement means and how you can do that. The other thing that struck me there, Roni, was the I guess it's a point coming back to my question about what we as allies can do, because one of the best ways to create opportunities for people is to talk about their achievements and praise them for the things that they've done, and not try and take responsibility and ownership of someone else's work. So whoever that person was that went out of their way to nominate you and therefore get your name out there, which then created this bun fight over who gets to work with you next. I think that's something that we as all have to be mindful of. How do we do that to enable things for the rest of our team? So I think it's a great story to tell. Liz, you got your hand up there, mate.
Hello. Hi, Roni. I just wanted to say hi. It's me. And hi, Amanda. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Liz. Oh, hi.
I didn't realise it was you, Liz. Incognito.
This is a coalition of all my exes. All the people I've worked with in the past.
Yeah, it was just to say hi, really, and say that I'm really inspired by just your talk, and it was just to just say hi. And
thank you. Thanks, Liz.
You talked about some of the issues about what you faced as being a woman of colour. So, I mean, I had a question about that, but you kind of covered it anyway. But I just wanted to say hi, and yeah, great to see you. And that was it, really.
Thank you.
Cool. One of the ladies is a type in the chat, so I'll see if she's just saying thank you or if she's got an actual question. But if there isn't a question that comes through, I think that's an incredible note to leave that on. Just you know, the fact that Liz is wanting to say hello, because you know, she's you obviously made an impact on her through working together, which is pretty extraordinary. Just waiting for this lady to keep typing if she's going to. She has stopped. Oh, she was just saying thank you very much actually for the good session. So yeah, excellent. I will reiterate that point. It's been really great, Roni. I've learned a lot. You know, I've worked in tech recruitment for 14 years, and you've made it so simple to me to understand the difference between project management and delivery management, which I think is great. So thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you will be happy if anybody watches this recording back and has any questions for them to find you on LinkedIn and reach out and connect.
Yes, definitely.
And yeah, if there's anything else that we can do for you or anyone else on the call, then don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Cheers all.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye, Liz. Bye, Ronnie.